Okay, samuli. Let's go through this game and see how it goes. So I see you're against warwick, nidalee, Timo Shen, Miles Akali, Trist MF. Cool. So I'm assuming you're going to path top to bot here. And okay, start, clear. That's good. You looked at the lanes, pinged where the enemy jungle started. Just fast forward through. Mm. So I think you should probably save this smite here. Uh, I'm not too familiar with the nidalee clear, but I think generally you know that the Warwick started, bot. He's gonna go top. You should be able to kill this Krugs on its own, but doing the scuttle is kind of a pain as nidalee unless you have that smite. Like you can do it, but it's gonna take you like basically like 10 more seconds, right? Than it would otherwise. So you get here, the scuttle should be free. Um, Interesting. So you don't take it, I guess just because you're warding. Yeah, so I wouldn't recall here. Uh, Sorry, I think we saw Warwick earlier, right? Yeah, okay, we saw Warwick earlier while you were doing the Krugs. So I guess, let me check. What you should basically be doing when you do see this Warwick here, and I think I might have skipped you doing it, but you usually do want to pan to him. And like my guess, just even without looking, is that he did 4 camp in a topside. But like if you if you actually go to him, then you'll know exactly what he did, right? So you want to tab count CS. It should be 16, just because like I assume Warwick wouldn't have done Raptors. And then you want to see if he has like double buff, right? So that you know exactly what route he has. Because he's topside, this scuttle is like not really under any threat, and like typically your Gromp over here, it's when you do smite it, it's gonna respawn around like 4:15. But because you use the smite on blue and then you start at the Gromp a bit later, it's typically gonna spawn closer to like 4:30, like 4:25 instead of 4:15. So you're not really in a rush to get back to your top side, right? Like you still have a lot of dead time, and you want to use that probably take scuttle because one, you're getting it, denying Warwick, but it's also giving you vision, right? So yeah, this recall is probably a mistake. Interesting, and then you path bot. Yeah, I probably wouldn't path bot here. So it's like uh here I would say like your bot isn't really that gankable. Like they've crashed the wave here, right? And it should be bouncing back. And like sure, like your bot could, auto push nonstop, and there is a risk of the Warwick coming here. And then I guess that's like where the scuttle would have helped out, right? Because you have this ward here. The scuttle would have also given you vision in the river. And so the only way that the Warwick would have been able to gank the bot lane is like, he comes down this way, right? But like your Tristana, she has rocket jump, they have flash heal, like everything's up, right? So really the only way that your bot lane can die is if they engage on their bot lane, right? And then Warwick comes and cleans up. Okay, so he uses a rocket jump. Warwick comes anyways, even though this is not a good gank. And let's see what happens. Yeah, so already here, like on this gank, I'm pretty sure bot lane's not going to die because like look at where the enemy's standing, right? This is a 2v1 right now, right? Like the Warwick's gonna get his abilities, and then nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, so your bot lane, even if you weren't here, you would have been. Let's see when you got to bot lane, right? So you already be at your camp right now, round 4:26, which I think like it should spawn. Yeah, okay. So there we see round 4:30 is where your Gromp's actually spawning, right? Because you had to smite the blue. It's like a bit delayed. Um, this doesn't look right. So the fact that you came here and the Warwick ganked is actually like even though I would think that it's not right, this actually did work out in your favor. But I think what went wrong here is just waiting, right? Like your bot lane isn't really in any threat just because their bot lane is so far away, and the only way they can close this distance if they also flash heal, which that feels a bit insane, right? So I think if you just wait in this bush, oh, I skipped forward too fast. Yeah, if you just waited in this bush, this Warwick flashes, he's basically dead, right? Over here, this guy's playing a 3v1 and their bot lane is way too far away. Though it is Warwick, so like it's pretty hard to kill him. But I think if like your spear hits, you still have red buff. He just used all of his abilities, so his fear is gone. You could definitely turn this around, right? But instead, what happens? Yeah, you just okay, I mean, you got exhaust. That's pretty sweet. They didn't need to exhaust you. Oh, okay. You could have actually still killed him there, maybe. But yeah, like by now, like you're basically already like finishing off Raptors, right? So coming here was kind of like a waste of time. Yeah, I wouldn't even help probably the bot lane shove it. Oh wow, he just goes and dies. Okay, that's a bit like lucky, if anything. I don't think that Misfortune had to die. She's just greedy. Okay. So we go mid here. Uh, this feels like, sure, it's like volatile. Probably get a kill here, maybe. Okay, you flash and you kill. Interesting. Yeah, this is a bit forced. Like the only reason, let's see, they're low. The only reason this guy, like he almost crashed the wave. Unfortunately, the Akali kind of like delayed it. The only reason your Zerath is like actually sticking around here at all is because you're around, right? I think normally there's no real kill here. Your camps, like sure this is giving 300 gold, but like so is so are your camps, right? And the nice thing about camps is like they're also giving a lot of XP, which at this point in the game you need more of. Hmm. This works out. Okay, this is really good. You're taking his Raptors, and then I think you can also take his Krugs. Cool. And then we reset. Sork shoes. Cool. Just clearing bottom to top. What happened here? And where is this Wrath? Or the mouse? Oh, okay, he just went off to go row. Cool. Okay. Interesting. So you're doing the same thing. I guess you're expecting the Warwick to come here? Is that what it is? I would honestly say like this is not worth. Like, is the bot lane low? Let's see. I mean like your bot lane's full HP, so I assume yeah, okay, their bot lane's also full HP. Uh this gank here is like it's pretty unnecessary for this counter gank, right? Your bot lane's full HP. I don't know if they have sums or not. Their bot lane's full HP. I assume like they have all of their ultis just because like uh they hit level 6, everyone's full HP. It doesn't seem like there was a recent fight. Instead of like coming down here and trying to do a counter gank, all of your camps are up, right? You can basically just clear bot to top and then try and make a rift play, right? Is an option. Depending on where Warwick is, right? Like if Warwick shows up here bot, he almost like never really gets a kill with all this vision. Like he can do a oh my god, there's even a lane pick, right? Uh Yeah, there's nothing like there's nothing to really play for here. They're just kind of like forcing this. But all of these camps are basically worth more gold than a kill would be, and you also get the XP. Like sure, the counter to that is like denying their bot laners XP and gold is also important. But I think when they're basically like full HP, all sums, there's no play, right? Like the wave is at their tower, it's going to be at least 30 seconds minimum until this lane is gankable, right? Because it just crashed. It's going to need to push back, right? So the next wave is coming here. It's spawning. From their side, you can see where their wave would be by just looking at your own. It's going to meet like around that area, right? In like 3/4 way up the lane. And in order for you to actually get a gank off, like you would need the next wave, right? Which is going to meet closer to the middle in the slow push. And only then would your lane gank really work out if you're like waiting in that middle bush. And that's a whole minute away. So like in that minute, you can basically take all of your topside camps, or not all of your topside camps, all of your bot side camps, and then come back. But if you come now looking for a lane gank, you're just going to be AFK in the bush. So what happens? Bot lane backs off. Okay, you guys crash another wave. I mean, that could have worked if you hit. Oh, yeah, okay, they do have everything like we thought. Alties, exhaust. Yeah, super forced. And then in that time, Warwick went to go gank, an actual lane that was gankable, which is mid lane. And your mouse hard dies. Let's see. When did you start heading bot? So you got here at around 11:30, and now it's 12. They probably get the drag. Oh, okay. They get the drag. So like one thing that you want to be doing here is like, okay, so you just died. Your mid laner just died. There's no world where you can ever contest this drag, right? Like the bot lane has prior too. Like just it feels bad if the enemy gets the drag, but like that's just the reality, right? You just have to give it up. So let's say like you didn't make that play, bot lane, right? And you didn't try to dive here. Your mid laner dies, you can do anything about it. Then what you have the uh, luxury to do is you would have basically full cleared from bot to top, and you would have been here already at the rift with all of your camps down. And then when the Warwick tries to do the drag, which like he should be able to do, right? Just because like your mid laner's dead, you can at least trade back the rift, right? Like even here, going to this drag, there's no point. It's gone, right? You could try to take the rift, but the problem is it's still pretty risky. Uh, yeah, like I definitely go for it because sometimes it feels free. But there is a world where if the collie's paying attention, she knows she doesn't have to be there for the drag. She's just gonna collapse on you, right, with the Teemo. Um, yeah, and I think like all of this happening was originally the consequence of you making that bot play. So if we look here, level 7 to level 8. Oh wow! So you're so behind by this point in the game because you're not farming your camps that their Yumi is level 8 while you're level 7, right? That's basically like game ending. Like you've already lost this game. Uh, yeah. So here you go back to farming, which based on how behind you, like, I think you should have just been doing the whole time. Where did we see Warwick go? Because we decided to invade his camps even though we're behind. Wouldn't he have recalled right after drag? Think about this. Are his camps all up? Yeah, all of his camps are up, so I guess he went straight to his bot side. Nope. No, it's even worse. He went from drag straight to rift. I mean, it's like not so bad because it's post 14 minutes, so like it's almost like getting second rift. Okay. Yeah, so far, this is looking not great. Like, sure, you're 3-1-3, but oh wait, I guess you just did get a lot of you caught up a lot right here with the kill, into taking his topside camps into kill top, uh, which is actually like pretty good for catching up. Because yeah, like that's like one thing with when it comes to like XP. So like early on, kills are actually not that valuable XP wise because the XP that you get is based on the champion level, right? As well as like the difference in between your levels. So when you get early kills, the XP is actually less than camps. But later on, as like people are leveling up, like these camps still give a small amount of XP, but champion kills actually give like ridiculous amounts of XP. So that's probably relevant to how come you're able to go from level what 8 to 10 so quickly, right? Oh nope, you started off at level 9. Okay. I mean the top camps would have still given you a lot. Yeah. So usually I just review like the first 60 minutes of the game. I think like the good stuff here is you're actually looking at the lanes, you ping where Warwick is. So you kind of only did it for the first rotation and then you kind of stopped. But you still want to be thinking about where Warwick is on like the second rotation, maybe the third rotation. After that, it gets a lot harder. But the first and second rotations are usually like really straightforward on jungle tracking. So yeah, that was the good stuff. And then like the bad part of this game was kind of just like forcing plays when there's like really nothing available, right? Like both times that you went bot, completely unnecessary when you could have just been farming your camps. Uh, and I think that's even more relevant in Goldiolo, right? Just because, um, the enemy jungler is going to waste a lot of time. So what you can pretty consistently do is just get really like good XP leads on them, and then once you have an XP lead, you can almost invade the enemy jungler on repeat, right? Like if you have a 2 level, I mean it's a bit harder with the Warwick, but against a lot of other matchups, if you have a 2 level lead against the enemy jungler as an Italy, like it's just game over, right? Like they basically can't come back into the game. But yeah, looking at the top camps part, right? When we're talking about not clearing them, let's see like when did you actually clear them this game? So here you still haven't cleared your top camps. You just clear them right now. Confused. Yeah, you still haven't cleared them. So around 5 minutes, right? Is around 4 something is when your top camps respond. When do you actually take them? You just don't. And it's good that you took his top camps. So that's funny. Okay, so oh, that's really funny. Your top camps have pretty much been here since around 4 minutes of the game, and they finally got cleared around 15 minutes into the game when the Malzahar cleared him, right? So I think that really highlights uh, the part where we're like forcing plays when there's nothing available. Um, yeah, just like full HP targets, waves pushed in. You're relying on a gank on the bounce back, but the timing on the bounce back is off, right? Like if they just crash the wave, it's going to be basically another minute until it gets anywhere close to the middle.